G'day and welcome to the show. We're heading to the Gympie Music Muster, the place where they reckon there are no strangers, only friends you haven't met. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we meet some friends along the way and turn this into a journey? We're going to kick off in Hervey Bay, then we're going to head to Rainbow Beach. From there we're off to Lake Catharaba and finally, of course, the Gympie Music Muster, the festival in the forest. It's pretty cool, pretty green, lots of music, and I'm looking forward to meeting some friends that I haven't met yet. So why don't you come along with us as we show you what's up down under.
It's time to see this land of wonder. It's time to go and see what's up down under. What's up down under?
Tagging along on our epic journey, we have Scott from Jawa Campers in the Sirocco, Chris and Miriam in their Titanium Caravans Destination X, as well as John and Liz from Century Batteries in the Nova Caravans Terra Sports. And as for myself, I'm towing Red Centre's Kimberley. Last episode, myself and the crew explored the wildly colourful Rainbow Beach, where we hit the sand by 4x4 and horseback. Whilst it was an incredible adventure, it's time to pack up and hit the road for our final destination before hitting the muster, Lake Catharaba. Located 114 k's south of Rainbow Beach, Lake Catharaba is home to stacks of wildlife, bushland and, funnily enough, Australia's only Everglade. We'll be basing ourselves at the Lakeside Oasis Habitat Noosa, and joining us for this stop is Scotty's partner Emma and their 2 kids, as well as Mark from VanTech. Whilst the gang unhitch and settle in, I figured it'd be worth speaking to Kelly to learn about this rather interesting take on the traditional holiday park. While we explore the area, Habitat Noosa is going to be home for us, and Kelly's our host. Kelly, what are we going to find around the park?
It's an amazing park. We're actually located in a national park. We're on 65 acres. We have a mix of camping, glamping, wilderness tents. We've got our own on-site bar and bistro, and we actually have a microbrewery where we brew our own beers.
The expanse of the park is amazing. There's so much space, as well as so many, they do have guided tours that you can go on walks, but there's plenty of trails that you can do by yourself as well. I'm happy to let the kids run around, get out in the bush, and just be out in nature, really.
And the great thing is we actually have tours that depart from our lakefront destination up to Noosa's only, well, Australia's only Everglades.
So I noticed a couple of things coming in. One of it is solar sites. What are your solar sites?
Yep. So basically we have 28 powered sites, but they're powered through our solar. We've got 40 kilowatts of power that we run through. And it actually is fantastic because people aren't, they're reducing their carbon footprint while they're staying here.
So there you go. You want to make a difference to the environment? Just come and get on one of the solar sites. Never know. Could help. Now, the other thing, of course, is the view. Mm-hmm. As they say, location, location, location. Tell us a bit about the lake.
Well, we're located on Lake Catharaba, so it's the largest tidal lake in Queensland, really safe for children, heaps of water activities we've got available, and our tours depart from there every day as well.
A lot of times we find when we go to caravan parks that we're a little bit restricted with our setup. Out here at the Noosa Habitat, we are fully set up. We have our full 270 awning out, as well as shade on the other side as well, so this spot is perfect.
How far to town if someone wants to go out and explore?
We're only 25 minutes north of Noosa. Just amazing. So the shopping, the beaches, the restaurants are there, but we've got our own bistro and microbrewery, so people tend to stay on site.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely no reason to leave. There's plenty to keep the kids busy, plenty to keep mum and dad busy. What more could you want? Kelly, I reckon you've got it absolutely nailed. You've got everything here I could possibly want, except one thing. It's whale watching season. I thought I might duck into town, jump on the Ocean Rider and get out there and see if I can find a whale. You lot want to come too? The guys from Habitat Noosa have gone above and beyond to establish a clean, fun and environmentally friendly accommodation for all who choose to visit, offering a stripped-back holiday experience with some stunning creature comforts set on the backdrop of nature. But if you're after a little bit of thrill-seeking, this next experience might be just for you. Stay tuned because after the break, we take whale watching to the next level.
What's up down under?
This episode is proudly brought to you by Jawa Off-Road Campers. To view their range of campers and caravans, just visit jawacampers.com.au. Well, here we are, made it to Noosa, and our first port of call, Noosa Ocean Rider. Nathan's our skipper for the day. Nathan, what are we going to do?
All right, the plan this morning here, Macra, is to take the boat down around Noosa River, head down around to the river mouth, where we'll cross the Noosa Bar and head out into Laguna Bay. Then we'll head around towards the various bays, Tea Tree Bay, Granite Bay, and around the heads, and hopefully find some of our aquatic wildlife out there. We run whale watching during the whale migration, the humpback whale migration. Then the rest of the year we have resident dolphins that we run a dolphin safari, and we also offer an adventure tour where I might say I'm a little more aggressive with my driving.
Well, you can be aggressive today. We've got a couple of our guests with us.
Yeah.
We've got John and Liz, and we've got Mark from VanTech.
Okay.
So I've told them we're going out for a whale watching cruise. They got a bit of a picture in their head, but
Right.
I don't think the picture included a machine that looked like this. That's a pretty cool looking boat.
Yeah, she certainly does the job. She's a Gemini rib with two 200 horsepower Suzukis on the back. So yeah, she gets up and boogies when we want her to.
The 18-year-old boy that still lives inside me goes, I want to see that thing go. So what do you reckon we hop in it and see what it'll do? We might even see if we can blow our hair back.
We'll have to hang on to your hat for sure.
Yeah, I think I will. After a quick cruise down the Noosa River, we soon hit open water. It's worth mentioning that Noosa more than lives up to its reputation for having some of the best surfing conditions in Australia. The tour isn't just about keeping an eye out for wildlife and hitting top speeds, as there's ample opportunity to just take in the scenery.
On your right here is the Noosa Spit. Essentially, if you came down to Hastings Street and come all the way down to the end here, this is where you end up.
About a mile out from the surf club, mate.
It's got a whale a mile out from the surf club. Roger, thanks for that.
The chase is on, and this vessel has got some serious power behind it. It has certainly been a minute since we have been this hydrated with seawater. Well, in fairness, I was warned. But aside from being an excellent ocean navigator, Nathan is just as skilled with catching inanimate objects with his face. I didn't even know I'd lost my hat.
I usually have to pick them up from overboard. It's lucky it hit me in the face.
Did it? That's fair enough, because so did half a dozen of those waves hit me in the face, mate.
Alrighty, hang on to your hats.
All jokes aside, this has to be the best way to go out and about whale watching. With only small breaks in between the high-speed chaos to scout for activity, Nathan ensures that whilst you're on this vessel, you are going to have an absolute blast. But when Mark spotted something off in the distance, the vibe of the tour changed entirely.
Just over there. That's it, Mac. Just out there. So Nathan, when they got their cars, they tend to come in closer to the shore or the beach line?
Yeah, we're there on their trip back to the south. So actually at the moment we do have a bit of a crossover period. We do have some that are still heading to the north.
Yep.
Some have calved a little bit earlier down south here, still heading up to the north. And others coming back to the south. Typically when they're heading south, they'll stay close to the shore and sort of come out along the coast.
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say there's no better way to top a magical experience than to get thrown around on the way back to the docks. Hit it, Nathan. This is the very same bloke who said, I don't think you'll need a raincoat out there today. I don't think you'll get much more than a bit of a splash. Yeah, a bit of a splash. Holy dooly. Can we do it again? Well, I've been on some whale watching tours in my time, but that absolutely takes the cake. I reckon a cup of coffee, bit of lunch, and then we'll get into what we're going to do this afternoon.
Looks like you won't be needing this.
Stay tuned, because after the break, I introduce the crew to one of the only Everglades on the face of the earth.
What's up, down under?
After an adrenaline-fueled morning in Noosa, I thought I'd bring it down a couple of pegs. So I've wrangled the crew together as we venture out into Australia's only Everglade. Whilst the crew gets seated, I figured I'd introduce myself to Brad, our skipper, to gain some insight into this Aussie anomaly. We're going to spend a bit of time today out on the Everglades Eco Tour. Brad's our skipper. Brad, what's involved in the tour, mate?
Yeah, mate, we do a zip across the lake here for a bit, and then we take you up into this really special area, the Noosa Everglades. It's the prettiest part of the Noosa River. It's about a 3 kilometre section, and the river goes for 80 all up, but it's a really tight, nice looking part.
Now, the Everglades. Now, there's a word that isn't used in Australia a lot, so there's not a lot of them around. What makes an Everglade?
No, well, what makes an Everglade was the British, when they named the area, the Spanish explored the North America area, they thought it was a big swamp. But it turned out to be a flowing river called the Kissimmee River. It's 100 kilometres wide, this thing, but shallow. And once they discovered it's not stagnant water, this is moving, they named it originally as a Riverglade. Well, the British guys, when they took over from the Spanish, and in some of the maps they got Riverglade and one has Everglade. So I think someone mispronounced the word river, and it turned out as Ever. And as time went on, the Americans just adapted the Ever instead of the river, but it refers to a river going through a forested area.
What do you reckon we get out there and have a look at this beautiful bit of water?
Yeah, let's do it, mate. Great day for it.
Absolutely. Now, this is just what I was looking for. Beautiful, quiet, and plenty to see. And we're not even amongst the Everglades yet. And to top it off, Brad possesses a wealth of knowledge of the lake, which he was more than happy to share.
And if you just look out the front, you can see water. And off the left, we've got some water there. And the right-hand side, there's water all the way over to where the houses are. It's wet. It's wet. And it's sort of looking brown, but it's not really. It's clear, just the bottom's brown. We're just about getting into the deep bit now. Before we get out in the deep bit, you've got to know what to do in case we sink. If we sink right here, just get out and walk back. If we get out a little bit further, you've got to put on a life jacket if you can't swim, okay? So under your seats, they've got 2 breast pads.
Now I see what all the fuss is about. A labyrinth of gorgeous corridors with a plentiful selection of bird and plant life to feast your eyes on. You could lose yourself by just taking in the scenery.
Just up around here, this is the spot where Gloria Estefan got lost. She was in here for 3 days looking for the ribbon, but she never found it.
There's only one word that comes to mind if I had to describe this entire experience.
Peaceful. Really peaceful.
Yeah, so that's great. What an amazing location. So peaceful.
It's so beautiful and peaceful out here.
So peaceful. So peaceful, so peaceful.
The Noosa Everglades is a genetically blessed wilderness of crystal clear waters and ancient tea tree forests. The landscape has remained untouched for thousands of years, essentially making it one of the most important biospheres for this section of Australia, as it's also home to over 40% of Australian bird species. After having a splash in one of the only 2 Everglades systems in the entire world, I figured we'd best head back for some afternoon beers. Emma, however, had other plans.
Thank you.
If you wanted to stay here a bit longer, all you had to do was ask. If you reckon Noosa's all about Botox and nightlife, you better come and visit Brad and come out on a tour. I think you're going to get a different perspective. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, bloke.
What did you reckon about it?
The upper reaches of the Noosa River are absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant up here. Macca, when we get back, I might just grab you aside for a minute. There's something that I want to show you.
Sounds interesting. Let's have a look. What do you got for me?
The Century BM12V battery monitor enables you to monitor so you can manage the battery.
So the information I get out of it, how do I use that to manage it?
Well, you can actually set up a couple of notifications. So if the battery gets to like let's say 70%, you get a notification and it's a bit of a warning. And then if it gets too low, like 20%, well then you know you've got to do something about it, because otherwise you end up with warm beer.
We don't want warm beer. Now, speaking of warm beer, you got any cold beer in the Nova?
I have.
How's it been going for you?
Really, really well.
Haven't checked it out yet. Can we go and have a look?
I think we should.
Okay, let's do it. See if he's got some cold beer. How you finding the Terra Sports off-road?
Mac, I love it. Look, you just look at this outdoor entertainment space. Got the awning to cover out of the shade. You've got the NCE speakers up the top. There's plenty of plugs there for your outdoor entertainment. You know, just a great place to spend an afternoon.
It looks the business too. Obviously, it's an off-roader. What do you got there? Independent suspension?
Yeah, it's got independent suspension, dual axle, heaps of underbody protection to keep all the pipes and hoses all well protected. You know, if you take it really off-road.
I see you running disc brakes too. They're becoming pretty popular, and they give that braking a bit more like a car rather than the old drum brake on the Caravan.
Absolutely they do, Macca, yeah. It's been a breeze to tow.
You got an outside shower too if you want to get a la natural.
We do, or you come back from the beach and you're a bit sandy, you can wash a bit of sand off. Well, I've got to do that before she'll let me inside.
I see you got a couple of nice big storage boxes up the front too, and a tunnel boot.
The tunnel boot goes all the way through too, because they can put nice long items, a few extra tent poles. We've got somebody comes with you with a bit of a swag, all those poles and things can live in there comfortably.
What's at the door at the back there?
Oh, you've actually got a vertical storage space there, Macca, so you can put chairs and stuff like that in there.
What sort of suspension are you running, mate?
It's got an Alco airbag suspension in it, Macca, and it's been like really comfortable to tow on the road. And the other thing is you pull up at a site and it's just a matter of flicking a couple of switches and leveling her up.
So you've turned up at your site and you're sitting out here and you're having fun. But what about when you go inside? How much comfort have you got in there?
There's lots and lots of comfortable stuff in there, Macca. Comfortable living space. There's a nice L-shaped lounge, toilet, shower.
They separate?
Separate they are, absolutely. The other thing is self-closing doors and all the cabinetry. There's a queen-size bed. There's lots of good lighting.
Well, I see you've got the dust reduction system on the roof too, so you've set it right up to take it out and hit the bush.
It pressuриses the van and helps to keep the dust out of it.
Clearly you've thought it right through, and the guys at Nova have just put together an amazing package for you.
They certainly have, Macca, yeah. We enjoy towing it. It's like taking a hotel room on the road.
There you go, and if you'd like to take a hotel room on the road with you as well, just check them out at novacaravans.com.au.
Chaos Gear Camper Trailer Lifestyle and What's Up Down Under are giving away $5,000 in prizes. It's the Chaos Tough Tested competition. Win one of 10 $500 Chaos gift vouchers used to purchase canvas and hard case storage solutions, vehicle awnings, shower awnings, tactical and recovery gear, and the list goes on. Just go to any of these websites, follow the links and enter for your chance to win. You can enter every day, and the best part is it's free. The Chaos Tough Tested competition. Get your entry in today.
Stick around, because after the break, we treat ourselves to some Park Brewed beer.
What's up down under?
The boys and the crew are off doing their thing, and I'm here packing the van ready to head to the Gympie Muster. So I thought you'd walk through how we pack our caravan. Now, some of the roads we go on are extremely corrugated, and packing things then is slightly different. But here, this is what we're doing. Obviously, nothing can be on benches, so what doesn't go in cupboards gets packed into the sink with a towel. Same goes with the bathroom sink, and just double checking that all the cupboards are securely locked. Our laptops slide into these magazine pouches, and our food stored in plastic containers. Clothing is stored in these collapsible white boxes, making it really easy to get to whatever clothing it is that you're after.
Back at the park, I had the pleasure of being introduced to Jawa owners John and Kaz, and figured it'd be a perfect time to give this on-site brewery a spin. But not before finding out a little bit more about this stylish and ambitious park venture. I say you can always measure a town by its ability to brew its own beer, but have you ever been to a campground that brews its own beer? Right here? Good idea. Well done, Steve. What do you got going on?
Mate, we have a campsite with our own brewery in it. I mean, when you're right here on the Artesian Basin, you can pump the freshest water in Australia straight out of the ground. Why wouldn't you make beer out of it?
Why wouldn't you? Now, what inspired it?
Honestly, it's just our proximity to the Noosa Everglades. Everglades being such a unique ecosystem where the water is 100% pure and already naturally purified. Why wouldn't you make a brewery? Obviously, the #1 ingredient when making beer is the water. Again, it's a no-brainer.
So what sort of beers do you make?
Oh, we have all types here. I'd say our more popular ones is our lagers or our pale ale, but we go all the way up to I would say a Pilsner, we have an Irish Red, really where we can get our hands on. We have 11 different types of beer that we brew. We'll put 8 on tap at a time. And as you see, we have the tasting paddles as well, so you can work your way straight through the rainbow.
Do you sell it off side as well?
Not just yet. Look, if we can build to that point, we're not going to overlook kind of a business model going in that direction, but for now you have to come right here to Habitat to try any of these beers.
Well, I reckon it's a ripper idea. Come and set yourself up down there, spend the day at the lake, come up, have a beer, have a meal. I might go out and catch up with the other guys outside and see if they're interested in trying a couple of these. You'd probably be able to guess that it didn't take a whole lot of convincing. The beers were a hit on this nice sunny afternoon, and with the local roos starting to move on in, it's yet another reminder of just how spoilt for scenery we are in Australia. Well, I guess this almost marks the end of our journey on the road, and what a journey it's been. Chock full of adventure, camaraderie and memories, but now it's time to get the team on the road one last time. Next stop, the Gympie Music Muster. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the road to the Gympie Music Muster is a 4-part journey, and we've just wrapped up the third of them right here in Lake Catharaba. The whole thing's been made possible by the sponsors on the screen. Next week, we're going to load up our yeehaw guns and head to the Gympie Music Muster as we show you what's up down under.